Hey Google, was it a good idea to drop out of college?
It might not be for everyone, but college can be a great place to learn.
So, if you don't know me, my name is Steven Schneider. I am a freelance videographer based in Las Vegas, Nevada, and I dropped out of college. The short answer to why is I wanted time and money to pursue videography full time. The college that I was going to wasn't like expensive or anything. It was our local community college, but you know, that's still money that I could be using for marketing or to buy camera gear, transportation, you know, that could have gone to a whole lot of other things. But now let's get into the long answer. Before I really get into it, I want to say I'm making this video for clarity, so that I have something to look back to maybe in a few years down the line, you know, see what my thoughts were at this time, but also to explain to friends and family who maybe don't understand why I would drop out of college. And we're going to talk a little bit about mindset and the role college plays in society. I'm not going to try and get too into that, but I do kind of have to. As I said, it's money, you know, that money could be used for other things. Time is another thing. To illustrate how time is so important, because time is money. When you're doing actual work and you're not building wealth, like with investing in stuff, most literally time is money because you're getting paid for your time in money. Now, let's say you've calculated that your time is worth $15 per hour and you work 40 hours a week. Let me pull up my calculator real quick. Dropped out of school, I'm not that good at math. If you worked a full-time job, 40 hours a week, you would be making $600. This is not accounting for taxes or anything. It's just for example purposes. Now, let's say I take 20 hours a week to do college work. That includes classes, homework, and not including transportation. Well, that's half of that. I would be losing the equivalent of $300 for every week that I'm in school. Now that's like, it kind of depends on how you view money. I'm kind of with Graham Stephan in how you can see something that you chose not to buy as profit, as gain. Like if you pass by a Starbucks and you choose not to buy a cup of coffee, you just, in theory, made that amount of money. If you want to think of it that way, it's just a mindset, but that's like I'm giving up $300 worth of time to, you know, do work for school, which will eventually end in a degree. And of course this number does not include tuition. And if I were to go to a 4-year school, it would not include room and board, books. Oh yeah, books. So when you think of like what you could spend your time doing instead of school, which is actually making the money, for me it just made the most sense to not go to school. Now, the biggest concern that people have when I tell them I dropped out or I was thinking about dropping out was that, oh, you won't have a degree, you're not going to be able to get jobs, life's going to be a lot harder. You know, stuff like that. Like people who it seems like a lot of people think that college is the only option or like one of the few options. That's definitely not the case at all. College is just like one way to become successful, and it's not for everyone. It's education for a certificate that you have a certain set of knowledge, and that's great. You know, some people, classroom education works great. It just, I don't know why, I just don't like learning in a structured environment most of the time. Like seminars and stuff, that's different, and oftentimes that's about stuff I really, really want to know about. But in college, you have to learn a whole bunch of other things too, you know. I had to take a math class, which I know I don't really need the level of math that I was learning. I don't think I need to know trigonometry to do taxes. And like bringing in that previous number of how much money / time you're giving up to learn something, it hurts even more when what you're spending that time on doesn't even pertain to the job you want or the job you're gonna get. Given the current situation where most people I know go to college, so I guess it's better to think of me, I'd be on the same level as everyone else. And not having that degree, I know that's going to hurt me from an employer standpoint, labor in the United States, and I just don't want to get into that. But I know that's going to be a lot more true with national corporations, with offices in all sorts of different cities. If I were to apply to a place like that, some places actually say, like, you must have a 4-year degree in this subject or something related in order to apply. And yeah, that hurts, you know. Thankfully, the work that I do is not really based on a degree. It's not like clients are like, oh, I only hire videographers who have a 4-year degree in cinematography. I've never met a client like that, and if I do meet a client like that, they're not going to be a client. My industry is very focused on work, so I have put together an editing reel, link up here, and that's like the greatest example of my work, not a piece of paper that says I did these things, that I learned these things in the classroom. Even if I did have that, I know that me personally, I wouldn't retain that information nearly as well. I learned best by real world experience, you know, so dropping out, starting my own business gave me the opportunity to do that. And when you think of it the way I mentioned the Starbucks example, it actually made me money. I think higher education is great for a lot of people. You know, if you're a doctor or a teacher or anyone that like needs a specific amount of information in order to get into the industry, you need degrees. You need a degree. I mean, maybe you like know everything, but that degree is like a legal document that says you have taken classes on this, you still have your notes from this, maybe you have class experience to reference in the real world. Whereas videography, it's an industry where I can afford to throw myself out into it and just kind of get started. I can't think of the last time I saw like a freelance neuroscientist or brain surgeon, you know? I never took the SAT, I never took the ACT, and I know a lot of high schools kind of have that mindset of the next step is college. Like, we're gonna have a meeting where everyone chooses their college. And like I said, like, that's cool. You know, at least people who go to college like know what they're gonna be doing for the next 4 years. Whereas it's a lot more in the air. And that's another thing. Thankfully, I found my passion at like a younger age, but I know a lot of people don't. And the fact that you're expected to essentially choose what you want to do for the rest of your life by age 17 or 18, like, scares the crap out of me. All right, let's talk about the social aspects of college. Everyone I know, not everyone, but like most people I know have gone to college or are in college. Like, everyone from my high school, or most people from my high school, went to college. They all went to really good colleges. Pretty much everyone on my mom's side, as far back as I can go, to my knowledge, has gone to college. My grandpa on my mom's side he had a PhD in I'll put it up on screen. My whole life I've kind of heard like, oh, college is the next step. It goes elementary school, middle school, high school, college, and then you get a degree, and then you can go get a job. You can like start your adult life, you know. So it's uncomfortable, you know. Like, there is deeply ingrained in me. There is a sense that college is security, and in fact, it definitely is. If you have a degree, you can apply for more jobs, and you'll have an advantage over people who, like me, who don't have degrees. So that is super safe, you know? And I think that's why most people go to college, is because like they kind of go through their whole life hearing, oh, college is the next step. College provides a sense of security, which it does, and that's just where they go. It's the status quo. It's the social norm. Everyone goes to college. So I do feel kind of like a black sheep. This is strange, you know. Thankfully, my family is very supportive. I'm not like a very snap decision person, so like this was thought through, and of course I still have the option to go back if I need to. You know, it's not like I'm cutting college out entirely. It's still an option for me. So, you know, ever since I like discovered that I want to do videos for a living, and I want to kind of do it on my own terms, it's been me. I've been, you know, like explaining to my parents, like, this is what I'm gonna do. This is how this is gonna work out. This is what I still need to learn. I'm like, I think my parents could be videographers now. Just because I tell them like everything I'm doing, not because they asked for it. They never asked for it. I just tell them. They are in support of me getting a stable full-time job, and I'll go more into detail about that on a podcast episode coming out in July. This is scary, you know? Life is scary, and college is secure, it's safe, it's expensive, which is my main concern, but you know, it provides that sense of security that you can't really get anywhere else other than trade school, which that's like a whole different thing. And I'm not like anti-education, you know. I may not like to like sit in a classroom, especially if it's for things I don't particularly care much about, but I'm not anti-learning. I love learning. Like half of the YouTube channels I'm subscribed to are educational in some ways. Physics Girl, I'm not like a physics expert, but it's cool. Think Media, Sean Cannell, Heather Torres, all those they teach you about, you know, video making, how to grow as a content creator. Another one of my favorite YouTubers is Scott Manley. He does videos about space, and particularly about this one game called Kerbal Space Program, which if you haven't heard of it, is a 3D rocket building game, and you can launch rockets and make orbits, build space stations, land on moons, and that requires like physics knowledge. It's not like I'm learning the equations structured in a classroom. I'm sure if I did, I'd be better at the game. I kind of suck at Kerbal Space Program, but you know, I just kind of get the feel for it. You know, I kind of like know when to turn to get into an orbit. You know, that's how I learn. I just learn through experience, and you know, it may not be the most correct way. I really like the fact that academia builds off of the experiments and knowledge of other people. You know, you want to learn mistakes that other people have made so that you don't make them. You know, we don't want history to repeat itself. I'm really trying to like have a positive outlook on college because it is something that, you know, does provide a sense of security. It is necessary for a lot of jobs. Let's talk about student debt real quick. I knew that if I were to go to a 4-year university, man, I don't know how I would be able to afford that without lifelong consequences. Also, a lot of students when I was in high school got really caught up in their dream schools. I never really had a dream school. It does sadden me a little bit that according to my current life plan, I'll never have that 4-year college experience. I'll never get to live in a dorm. I'll never get to like go to a college party. I'm going through a life experience that not a lot of people go through, and I'm doing it with as much confidence as I can. I'm kind of right now I'm writing on the benefits that I know are guaranteed from this, like the fact that I have a lot more time to do what I want, and I have a lot more time to do like the things I need to become independent. By the way, if I feel like if I were to go to a 4-year university, I would probably change my major to like business or something, because learning business without like any formal education does kind of suck, you know. I also feel security in the fact that, you know, I can go back whenever I want. It's not like I'm gonna stay a dropout. But as of my current plan for my life, I have no intentions of going back to college. That could change at any point, you know. I'm still young, there's still time to figure things out. That's what people tell me a lot. I'm not like just saying that for myself. People say that most when I like tell them I dropped out or tell them I was thinking about dropping out. It was like, oh, it's fine, just, yeah, take a gap year, you know. Gap years are good, like, oh yeah, gap year. Yeah, it's just a gap year. So let's recap. Why did I drop out college? I dropped out for money. I could have used the money on other things than I did. I dropped out for time. When you think of it as a loss, not going to college, I can think of that as gaining money. Mental health. College is stressful for a lot of students. I mean, I thought the stress of high school was a lot. And I should probably be a lot more stressed now. I also have ADHD. That's why I have this fidget spinner. For these casual sit-down videos like this, I think I'm gonna have something like this with me. And of course, these videos are much harder to film because I don't plan them at all, and I forget what I'm saying a lot. If you stuck around this long in this video, props to you. Like, I don't know how you're able to follow my train of thought. I wasn't even able to follow my train of thought. I hope my explanation of why I dropped out made sense. I hope you understand that college doesn't work for everyone. Let me know down below what your position on college is. Do you think it's necessary for you? How so? Let me know your thoughts down below, because I want more insight on this. If you think it was dumb of me to drop out of college and you think I should go back to formal education, let me know. Learning online, you just kind of learn and you have the knowledge, but you don't have the credits to prove that you have the knowledge to get that degree. YouTube, the best unaccredited university out there. Subscribe. I'm trying to post more tutorials, videos like this where I'm just sitting down, explaining things, talking about things. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. I'm also introverted, so I don't think I would have liked college. I don't want to share a room with someone. I'm really out of touch with the people of my generation. I always have been, so it's not unusual, but college I would have really felt it.